Thank you for tuning in to the Awakening yet again. Today is a new day, a new week to start off. This week I'm going to be discussing prior last week I discussed forgiveness. How forgiveness help, and when I discuss forgiveness, it's gonna be a lot of things, like I said, in this season that's gonna contribute to everything dealing with this forgiveness and just moving on and moving forward. One of the things I wanted to discuss today is being considered, overcoming battles that we have been considered to fight by God. And when He gave me that, overcoming battles that we have been considered to fight, I have told um previous podcasts how when I went through certain issues and how the Lord based he His spirit just whew, I pulled through because of Him and because of His help and just being able to be teachable unto Him, as far as shutting down, being quiet, not always talking about it and doing more praying. um there has been seasons and times and issues where I find myself not praying like I should, not doing what I should, spiritual wise, but I feel like, you can still be used, but you also got to be able to talk to Him sometime. And I talk to Him more than I pray to Him. And I feel like that's still my way of communicating with Him, for Him to give me the nuggets and give me the wisdom that I need to move forward. And one thing about, and I tell people one thing about, some people that prophesize. Prophecies are things that God has already told you. So when somebody come and say something to me, or whether it be anybody, it don't have to be really so much being a prophet in a sense, but I know if I done already talked to God about it and I done already told Him, how I feel about it, and I be like, Lord, give me a sign, send me some. He will send people to you, and really confirm everything that you had talked to Him about. So, and that's one thing that has been giving me hope. Like, Lord, okay, He ain't left me. That's one thing some people tend to think about. And like I said in the previous podcast, I thought I had failed so far that, that basically He couldn't use me anymore. But that's not to be the case, because, in His disciples, wasn't nobody perfect. Everybody had an issue. And it's Thomas was, I look at Thomas and he was always doubting. Peter denied Him, Judas betrayed Him. It's just so many different things that sometimes you be like, God, are you still there? And it's not that He's not there, He's considering you. So in Job, like I said before, I have said it many of times. When I read it, the more I read the chapter, I done read Job a lot of times, but this particular time, I ended up reading like 4 times, almost 4 to 5 times in one day. Just this chapter, these few chapters. But the first chapter that really just stuck out to me, the first chapter really stuck out to me because he gave me confirmation, as to what I was going through. And when Satan was walking, the Lord said unto Satan, where you going? Basically, this is, my turn, breaking it down, not saying specifically straight word for word from the Bible. But he said, walking around to and fro, seeking who he may devour. And the Lord told Satan, has thou considered my servant Job? And when he said consider, I have told people testimonies plenty of times about the word considered. When you're being considered, the word consider is being having been thought of carefully. And so I just feel like God will put us in places that, and put us through situations, through things that we have not been he has not carefully thought about, that we can overcome. There is a lesson in everything. And so when I was sitting up there thinking about this podcast, I was like, he just dropped it in, dropped the nugget to me. Overcoming battles that we have been considered to fight. I have been considered to fight so many battles, and so have you. So this season, like I said, it's more personal for me, because I feel like my testimony can help somebody else out. And with that being said, when you're being considered for certain battles, we have people that, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, uh, I'm also a worker, I work. I women wear a lot of hats, and so do men, but women, we're more emotional about things. And so everything in life is a process. It's not easy, it's not perfect. It can be overwhelming, it can be frustrated, it can lead you to a state of depression. But God will never allow you to go through nothing not prepared and not having his armor. That's why it's good to really study, study, and just pray and ask for him to show you and guide you and give that wisdom to you, that you may be able to overcome any battles that he has that's in front of you. And sometimes it's not so much, like I said, I didn't feel like he left me. I left him. I was that prodigal child. I was that sheep. I left. And so when you going back into trying to be um get on a straight and narrow path with him, and just in general, and being all these heads, because all these hats, because you don't want to be responsible for your child going astray. You don't want to be responsible for your husband, your I work at part time at a job where I still want my light to shine. I don't want nobody looking at me and being like, "Oh, she got a nasty attitude. Oh, she got this. She got that." No, I try to stay humble, funful, because you don't know who you may be entertaining that day. And your first impression is your last impression. I tell people that. I tell my kids that all the time. How you react and how you carry yourself and how you talk and how respectful you be to people. You know, it says a lot about the fruit that I bear, because I'm the mama, and I tell my husband, people be like, "Girl, your husband, he a hard worker and he this and he that, and such this," but you got to be. I have to learn how to be that praying wife. I don't fuss at him. I don't say nothing to him. I just let him. I just pray more instead of doing what I used to do. And so that's one of the things I feel like God consider me in, is in being a wife. When you being a wife, you just you consider. When you go through certain battles, you consider. As parents, our kids stray away. Our kids get attitudes. And where we are right now in this world with Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, tell the truth. We have to understand that the battle is bigger than us. But what are we bringing to the table to change the battle? One of the things that you hear me constantly say, Lord, let me be effective. Lord, let me be teachable. And everything that we go through, it's uncomfortable sometimes. It's uncomfortable. We don't want to go through it. We don't have, we don't like it. But for me, knowing that he has considered me, that lets me know, oh, I'm still his child. It's not gonna go that far, or I'm not gonna be um I'm not gonna be thrown away to the wolves and never come back. Everything, like Ecclesiastes is one of my favorite chapters as well. There's a season for everything, and we panic sometimes because of what season we're going in, but you're going in that season because you're being considered. You go through certain things. Some people has lost, like I said, loved ones from 2020, and they feeling like, oh, um how can I go forward? How can I go on? But we all are here temporarily. We are not here to stay. And it's two things that I tell my kids you're going to do in life. You're going to be born and you're going to die. And it's not saying that, trying to be mean, but I just want to let them know, what are you going to do in this meantime that you live in? Always want to be like I say, I always want to be teachable and understand that, your light got to shine. You want to be known as something and somebody. You want to leave that mark and be like, people can say, um, if something happened to you or when you pass away, you want to hear when God, not only people, but when you go, well done, my good and faithful servant. So being considered for battles that we have been chosen to fight, it's not so much as going through the battles, but be thankful that he has given you the strength, even when you don't have the strength. I have a cousin that had 6 kids, and I used to look at her and be like, girl, oh my God. And just seeing things that she done went through, and I'm complaining because I got 2, or oh, they doing this and I got 3. And then they got my stepkids. I'm like, not my stepkids because they are my children, but in a sense where, I'm like, oh my God. But she do it with grace. Because it's somebody out there wishing that they had children. It's somebody out there wishing that they can be a caretaker of somebody's child that's being neglected or whatever the case may be. So when you wear hats, and with all the different hats that I wear, I always say, Lord, thank you for considering me to wear those hats, because everybody don't have the opportunity to do that. And so, you when you wearing these hats, you just gotta really just pray and ask God to give you the strength. And I look at certain things, battles that I have been through, and it's like a playbook. God has given us a playbook, just like a football team, a coach on a football team. When you dealing with football, it's not always about winning. It's more about your work ethic. You have to be mentally tough. You got to be mentally, physically tough. You got to be, when you fall down, you got to get back up. You can get hit on that football team. They can lay you down. I have seen people get concussions watching football. But look at what they go through. Look at how many times they got to get hit all in 4 quarters of a game. Look how many times they got to be tackled. But one thing that says it all is they get back up. They move with grace. They get back up, and they get back stronger physically and mentally. They get back in the game. And so that's how I look at it. God gives us a playbook as to what he wants us to do, and it's our responsibility to do it. It's not his responsibility, because sometimes we be like uh talking to him when he just telling you, I'm talking, but if you'll hush and listen, I'm giving you the wisdom and I'm giving you the playbook, but you won't do what I say do. But then when something happen, oh God, oh God, oh God. A lot of things, and then a lot of battles that I have fought or been in, it's not because God has put me in those battles. It's not. It's because I put myself in those battles. And once you start holding yourself responsible for what you go through and what you do, and really just ask him for forgiveness and straighten, try to get yourself straight, everything would be so much better. It's not going to be easy. And like I said, things may be uncomfortable, but Ecclesiastes once again, it only lasts a season. Everything is a season. And so I was also looking, at Peter, First Peter, and I'm not trying to be all churchy with, but I'm trying to be effective and show the light in this, because sometimes we be like, oh, she talking about God, I don't want to listen or whatever. But I gotta let my light shine. I'm responsible. He has given me a responsibility to be that servant. It's too many chiefs, and not enough servants. It's not enough people that's willing to be in the background. Everybody want to be the head in how things go. It's not about being a prophetess, a bishop, a pastor, a evangelist, and all those things. Everybody is a servant. Everybody has a servant, and everybody is responsible for something. I feel like, I'm responsible. The Bible said, train up a child in the way they should go. I'm responsible for my kids. I'm responsible for the kids that's around me. I'm responsible for my nieces and nephews around me. What do I teach them? What do I tell them? If they doing something wrong, one thing that in this day and age and time, we tend to be so much of a friend to our kids that sometimes we end up not being, they lose their respect for us as far as parenting. Okay, yeah, you the parent when it comes to what I want, the shoes, the clothes, and this getting my nails and all that stuff done. But what about when all that stuff ain't around? You gotta, I'm hard on my daughters that's in house, because I want to teach them. We living in a day and age that a lot of these kids do not like to listen. And a lot of them don't like to listen because we don't like to listen. So I was once that child where I didn't like to listen. So I refused to let that generation of curse come down on her. So when she be considered, when God put those battles up against them, it's gonna be a totally different battle for them, because it may be something that they didn't seen before, but they gonna know how to equip themselves because I'm teaching them. Without God, you can't do nothing. And just be happy that you have that. I'm grateful that I am being that mother that I need to be, for them. And I'm not perfect. I drop the ball every single day. Sometimes I find myself, that little boy of mine, let me tell y'all, and then my little 6-year-old, they were born on the same day. And when I tell you they act just alike, you can't just tell them, mm-mm. Back in my days, if mama said, that was net. These kids in this day and age, but can I please? You say no, they come back 30 minutes late asking for the same thing. Well, didn't I just tell you 30 minutes ago you can't have that? They don't care nothing about that no more. So it's like, Lord, you giving me, I'm a mother. What wrong with you? And they ain't scared of that. I used to be scared of that. These kids ain't scared no more. So, and they ain't scared because I had to think about it. I'm not putting that fear for God in their life. They don't know nothing about church unless I give it to them, unless I take the responsibility to teach them, take them, or let them read, help them read and understand it on their own. And so, I teach them pray. I teach them certain things, but some of these, like I say, some of these battles we get ourselves in. And I'm trying to, I just want everybody to understand that it's not getting no better with how we raising our kids. It's sex trafficking going on so bad. Like, kids are being picked up left and right. I mean, it's just mind boggling on how things are going in this world with dealing with kids and dealing with certain people. You got kids, some kids committing suicide, some kids running away because they want to check, don't want to listen at all. And it's time. I was watching Love and Hip Hop, and one of the things in Love and Hip Hop, when he said, um, you take the guy, they was having a Black Lives Matter like lunch and dinner or whatever, and he said, the problem with our communities now is we took the neighbor out the hood. And I was like, that's deep, because you don't have a lot of people correcting kids nowadays. Nowadays, you can't say nothing to no children. You can't do nothing. So as a mother, that is my main battle. But I'm thankful for being considered for it, because, like I said, some people, last week, I end up, rest in peace, Pretty Pam Johnson, one of my friends, classmates, she passed, and that was all she ever wanted, was to be a mother. She was 41. That's all she ever wanted, was to be a mother. And I'm sitting up here with kids complaining. So with that being said, it drew me back and be like, okay, God, you consider me to be a parent. You put these kids in my hands, me and my husband's hands, to groom them, teach them, and show them the way. So at this point, I need a playbook. I need another. Help me become better. Help me become a better mother, a better wife, a better sister, a better friend. Help me, God, because Lord knows, I need all the help I can get sometimes. And when I tell y'all, sometimes I don't know. I just be going, but I have to stop. I have to stop. I have to stop to be able to listen. And I have to really just regain my focus, as Lord, help me with my vision and help me with my ears so I can hear what you're telling me, to what needs that can be met regarding these kids, because I don't want them to go astray. And so that's one of my biggest battles. Another battle is being a wife. Being a wife is a battle within itself, because sometimes you feel like, okay, you dealing with, it's fun. It's fun and it's loving and it's easy at times, but sometimes you got to be willing to shut up. And especially when you was raised to be strong and not dependent on a man for anything. You got to shut up, and you got to humble yourself, and you got to be quiet, and you got to take it and really just pray. You know, you that's one. I used to find myself just fussing or saying something or not talking and shutting down. They don't do nothing. That they don't do nothing but make situations worse. So when I say, God, you consider me to be a wife, so what am I doing wrong? I was doing a lot wrong. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. But at the same time, you have to be able to self-examine your own, asking yourself, put that light and that mirror in your face and be like, okay, what issues am I bringing to the table? Because sometimes we be like, I ain't got no baggage. I ain't got this. I ain't got that. I don't have them issues that he got. She said, no, you do. You may not have the same issues, but oh, boo, you got them. It's just really just taking the time out to examine, asking God to examine, take those skeletons off your eyes and really show you for you. So, I'm trying to tell you it's something else. But I just wanted to really just shed the light over the battles that we fight. You know, like I said, being considered is not bad at all. It's a grateful thing because you want to be considered. You want him to consider you to fit all these battles. You want to be considered for him to know that you can be a manager over 20 to 30 employees and still be that light that he needs. Because just think, if you over them people and that's go that are souls that's being won over just by your light. So some battles that we face, Job lost a lot. I mean, that man in the Bible, if you haven't read the book of Job or heard about it, you need to read it. And, I read it in the King James Version. I done read it in the Message Version. The Message Version to me is like totally breaks stuff down. Like in a way that I'm like, okay, God, I see you, I understand it. Because sometimes we don't understand what we read in the Bible. And that's fine and dandy, but sometimes you just got to go back and get it broken down. One of the things that when I was like, Lord, you consider me, he took me to First Peter 2:9, where he was told saying, you've been chosen. You've been chosen by God. You've been chosen to be a holy people, to do his work, to speak for him, and people ought to know the difference. You ought to know be able to tell people the right and the right, the night between night and day, the difference from being, you know letting your light so shine that they be able to see. Sometimes I was rejected. I was I've been rejected a lot. I've been thrown to the side a lot. Oh, she ain't gonna do nothing. She ain't got nothing. She did, so she did this and she did that. And oh, I remember when I was younger, I heard a family member say they didn't want, you know, sissy so and so around me because uh I used to hang with a lot of boys and this or whatever. And at first it used to take harm to me, but then I had to think about it. Now that I grow up, I'm like, okay, I'm the good child now. I ain't perfect, but I ain't like that. I didn't turn out, so I took that rejection and I took that and I use it as a complete acceptance now. And I feel like that's what he was talking to me for in Peter. Even though things don't go your way and it may not feel good, some things are for your good. Some relationships that you have lost, some people it's not that it's hurting you, it's preparing you. It's preparing you for where you need to be in life. It's helping you it's teaching you, it's helping you groom to the light that he needs to be shined for, in front of great and mighty men. It's a difference when you walk in a room and you have to say something, but it's a totally difference when you walk in a room and people feel your presence and they see the light and they see the God that's in you. They see the humble spirit. They see the person that God intended for you to be. That is the best feeling in the world, where you don't have to say nothing. And sometimes that's why I say it's better not to say nothing. Just ask him to just help you not to run off so much, not to these battles is not easy, and these battles can overtake you. But just know he only preparing you for greater. Just thank God for being considered. Thank God that he is setting you up for a breakthrough and not a breakdown. It may feel like a breakdown. And one of my things, my mottos that I have on Facebook, I might bend, but I won't ever break. He ain't gonna let me break. He won't allow me to break because I am his. And as long as I do what he say do, and I do according to his will and his works, and I humble myself, he will always take care of me. He will always be there. He will always show me. He will always guide me. But I just got to be willing to be teachable. So, and that's one of the main things. Like I say, you gonna hear me say teachable and effective a lot, and uncomfortable on this podcast this season. So I just want to wish everybody well this week. I know um a lot of people, COVID, we have these. I want everybody to be safe for one. Be careful, and like I say, it's certain things, that's going on right now in this world. Just be prayerful. Be prayerful where you go. Be prayerful what you do. And I know, and another nugget that I want to drop. I know we getting all this stimulus, and I thank Joe Biden, but I also thank the King of Kings, because without him it wouldn't be happening. And so don't forget to give. Bless somebody. Just bless somebody. I don't care if you in the line, and you getting some food. Bless the car behind you. It's better to give than receive. Just be a blessing this season. Let's try to do stuff different than what we have been doing. And when you bless somebody, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't speak on it. Don't do nothing. Just thank God that you're able to be in a position to move forward and to break through, that you being in a position to do something for somebody else and be a help. And y'all, don't let this money go to y'all head. And, I tell people, invest. I'm one of the ones. I tell my husband, we got to do something. We can't, all this ain't can't go to waste. We got to do something. But be when I say get out of self, some people, you can't tell what to do with your money. But if he giving you the way and escape right now, take it for what it's worth. If you want to start a business to teach your children something different, do that. If you want to step out on faith this season. Let's step out. We being considered. Who said the consideration was for us to be living paycheck to paycheck? If he considering us to do certain things, believe us, he considering us for wealth too. So let's be understandable. Let's be wise in this decision, in this upcoming stimulus and tax dollar plans and stuff, and just be able to know that consider not only means just the battles. It can be the battle of finances, the battle of relationship, just battles. So with that being said, just thank God for it and be wise. Be wise, use wisdom, pray before you do anything, and don't bless everybody. Okay, that's another nugget. Just because you got it and somebody else don't get it or didn't get it, be careful who you bless in this season, because you can also be a sowing into somebody that God is trying to use in another way and sabotage them in a way. I used to always tell people, you know, we tend to handicap certain people. If they know they can get it for free, why not get it for free? Why work for it or why do anything if you just gonna give it? People just gonna give them what they want. So be wise in this hour who you bless. Just because they ask, that don't mean it's God's way of telling you you need to give it to them. Lesson had to be learned the hard way when it comes to that, and it could be in relationships too. especially when they ain't your husband or your wife. Just be mindful. That's all I got to say. So, I done strayed away from everything, just fussing. Well, not fussing, but I'm just dropping some nuggets here and there. But I thank you for tuning in to the Awaken today. And like I said, just be happy that you being considered in this season. You're being considered to overcome battles that he have chosen you to fight. Don't think of so much of the battle. Think of the playbook with the battle. I remember being, we so complain about things and complain about stuff we go through. But like I say, just thank God that you've been considered to fight the battle. That's all I got to say. Be thankful for it. Because somebody is right now wishing, oh Lord, are can you use me? And he using you. But you don't see it like that. So let's just be thankful this week. God, like I said this week, bless somebody. Just be a good servant this week. Be nice. Be a good servant every day. But just make it an extra effort. Do something you ain't never did before. Give. Pray for somebody that you ain't never. Pray for your enemies. When you pray for them wholeheartedly. Just don't say a prayer, Lord bless them, bless my enemies, and da da da. No, 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 no. Pray for the same success that you would want for yourself over your enemies and watch him move. That is the biggest thing. So, but with that being said and done, once again, thank you for tuning in to The Awakening. And I will see y'all. Listen, well, y'all can't see me, but we will discuss some more things next week. I will have a special guest on. I'm not telling y'all nothing, but thank you for tuning in. Have a nice week.